Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Monday, May 8th, 2017. Welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of ORA News, where we bring you today's top stories, translated into English every weeknight. On the 80th day of the opposition's protest, and at the time when the deadline set by the Prime Minister for negotiations, the Democratic Party chairman invited the majority to become a part of consensus. Speaking from the protesters' tent, the DP chairman said that if consensus is not reached, the Prime Minister will face the anger of the largest popular union. To the DP chairman, the Prime Minister is the one who has destabilized the country with crime, drugs, and corruption. Speaking in the protesters' tent, Mr. Basha stated, "Rama has been speaking of destabilization, but in fact, he has destabilized Albania in the last 4 years. The destabilizing factors are crime in state institutions with criminal MPs, criminal mayors, and criminal directors. Rama and his people did not serve to the people for a single day. Rama's plan is to go into elections with a coalition of charlatans, thieves, and criminals who he's governed for 4 years. The DP chairman added that the old republic will fall on Saturday, May 13th, with the massive protest announced to be held in Tehran, and according to him, the new republic will be institutionalized, declaring, "Elections will not be held without the opposition on June 18th. We are united to start on May 13th, the establishing of the new republic for Albanian citizens. Be part of our consensus or face the citizens." During his speech, the DP chairman spoke of the main pillars of the Democratic Party's program, which has been earlier presented. The DP chairman promised that the rule of law, education, and the support to the needy will be fundamentally changed with the new republic. The OSCE mission, which will monitor June 18th elections in Albania, will arrive tomorrow in Tirana. In a statement issued to the media, that the OSCE delegation will be headed by the Ambassador Peter Tejler, who will give the press conference tomorrow. The media statement reads, "On the occasion of the formal opening of the election observation mission deployed by the OSCE's Office for Democratic Institutions and Human Rights, to observe the 18th June parliamentary elections in Albania, the mission will hold a press conference in Tirana on Tuesday. Ambassador Peter Tejler, head of OSCE ODIHR Election Observation Mission, will introduce the role of the mission and its upcoming activities. For Election Day observation, the OSCE ODIHR Election Observation Mission will join efforts with a delegation from the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly. The OSCE Election Observation Commission and the OSCE presence in Albania operate separately and independently under their own mandates." The chairman of the Socialist Movement for Integration, Petrit Vasili, held a meeting with the SMI members in Berat, where the candidates for SMI MPs were presented. Mr. Vasili declared that the SMI's only objective is to be the first political force in Parliament for the June 18th elections, and that the SMI has the right people and clear answers to reach this objective. Mr. Vasili declared, "We have only one objective, and this is to be the first political force. We are ready and prepared to govern, and we have all the answers clear, and we have capable people. We offer a possibility to the youth, we offer employment opportunities, and we offer options to retirees as well. We have a new chance for agriculture and for the economic development of the country." The SMI's candidate for MP in Berat declared today that she has made maximal efforts to be the citizens' choice in Parliament, and praised all the SMI candidates for MPs, considering them to be the best and appropriate choices for Albania. The political crisis has continued for more than 2 months, risking the June 18th parliamentary elections being held without the opposition parties. At a time when all the legal deadlines have already finished and the parties are not reaching an agreement for the first time in history, the elections will be held without the opposition's participation. Political analyst Artan Hoxha and an ORA News journalist that if the elections are held without the opposition, then dictatorship will be installed in Albania. According to Mr. Hoxha, the best thing to be done is to stop this thing from happening before June 18th. Meanwhile, another political analyst, Mr. Alexander Chipa, thinks that the Prime Minister's statement to go in elections, even without the Democratic Party, is a constitutional obligation. But he adds that all the options should be explored in order not to go in elections without the opposition parties. Analyst Hoja thinks that the opposition's request for the establishment of a provisional government is reasonable and that the Prime Minister should respect this request. Analyst Chipa considers the Democratic Party's request to be unfair, and according to him, this request is being made because of the Democratic Party's failure to prepare coming into power. The political analysts also have different ideas as to a solution for the situation. Analyst Hoja thinks that the Prime Minister should withdraw from his position. He adds that when this happens, the Prime Minister will see that the majority of the citizens are against him. Meanwhile, Analyst Chipa says that the Prime Minister is on his right to end his mandate until the last day, and added that it is difficult to convince the DP chairman, as according to Mr. Chipa, the decisions are made by the former Prime Minister, Sali Berisha. Albanian citizens will have the opportunity to fly within a 100% Albanian airline within this year. The Prime Minister, who presented the project today, announced that the airline will be created with the help of the Turkish Airlines company. The Prime Minister said that the flight will start within this year, but did not provide a concrete date, stating, "The Albanian airline has started as expected, thanks to the special support of the Turkish President and the technical assistance of the Turkish Airlines. We are close to realizing the project, and we hope that the first flight will be made within this year." Prime Minister Rama, who also spoke of Flores Airport, added that the complete program for this project will be presented within 90 days. The Prime Minister stated that the project for Flores Airport will also be realized with the help of Turkey. When asked about the political situation, the Prime Minister refused to respond, declaring, "You have your right to ask about the political situation, but in this press conference we are talking about the sky we want to reach, and we cannot go underground and deal with the underground problems." It has been announced that the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development will be held the guarantor for second-level banks and other financial institutions for granting credit to agribusiness. The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development says that there is a big gap between the need for funding and the other instruments to realize this in one of the most important sectors of the economy. The directors of the EBRD in Albania, Matteo Colangeli, gave details about the projects that will be implemented in 3 years, stating, "Funded by the European Union, this package is part of the EBRD support for small and medium enterprises, which provides businesses and integrated financial instruments, financing through partner institutions, business councils, and political dialogue. Structuring tools, the increase of technical assistance. There are 2 million euros that will be provided by the EBRD to increase advisory capacities to enable small and medium enterprises to reach new markets and strengthen their competitiveness. We are signing a white check with the banks for lending these businesses. This will enable to compete for agribusiness loans, and we currently will support 4 banks for granting these loans. A total of 100 million euros will be awarded, with beneficiaries coming from small farmers to small and medium-sized enterprises. The Ministry of Agriculture invites the entrepreneurs to apply for the loans. In the 3-year program supported by the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, for the first time, the Albanian government will cover a part of the risk for the loans with 20%, a fund which will be disbursed by the Ministry of Agriculture. Around 1,000 people in Tirana can now take advantage of the City Hall's soft loans in order to buy their house. The City Hall's program will have new families in its focus and will offer a 20-year loan with an interest rate of 3%. Tirana's mayor declared, "Starting today, any Tirana citizen who meets the criteria, especially those who formed a family, can apply for a soft loan in their administrative units." The mayor added the City Hall has reached an agreement with the second-level bank, stating, "In the contract we have with the banks, the City Hall pays $1 million and banks $50 to $60 million in total for the buying of apartments. The interest of the loan will be 3% for 20 years. We guarantee that the interest and the rules will not change for 20 years. The City Hall will cover the extra interests of this loan. This is a guarantee for the future. Any fluctuation of the market will be paid by the City Hall." People who can be a part of the City Hall's social program must be above 18 years old, should not have an apartment, and should have a salary of about 40,000 lek per month. The City Hall will give an advantage to the new couples, but also to the homeless. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Cosmo K, and on behalf of OR News, thank you and good night.